Okay, my fine 2C hubby and friends, we have now been introduced to a new author. His name is Nicholas Olden, and this is his work right here. We read this yesterday, Big Bear Hug. So, a couple things about Nicholas Olden. First of all, he is the author and illustrator. That's why there's only one name on the cover. Nicholas Olden did the writing, he's the author, and he did the pictures as well. Okay. Also, Nicholas Olden always likes to put morals or messages into his stories. So, two messages in Big Bear Hug. One, be kind, and two, respect nature, respect the environment. So two really good messages here from Nicholas Olden. We're going to get a really strong message too in this story, Up the Creek. Now, we're familiar with the bear. He's from Big Bear Hug, and these two animals were in Big Bear Hug as well. Not really main characters, though. The moose got hugged, I believe, by the bear, and at the end the bear is trying to hug the beaver at the very end when the man came to chop the tree down. So this is called Up the Creek, Nicholas Olden. All right. See if you can figure out what the message is here, or what the story is trying to tell us, or what Nicholas Olden is trying to tell us. There once was a bear, a moose, and a beaver who were the best of friends, though they often disagreed. Friends sometimes do disagree. One sunny day, the bear, the moose, and the beaver decided to go canoeing. Ah, that's fun. Have you ever been canoeing? Fun. The moose wanted to steer, but so did the bear, the beaver, the bear and the beaver. They all sat in the stern. That's the back of the boat. Oh, not working. With so much weight in the back of the canoe, it tipped, and they ended up in the water. Uh-oh. So they played eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and it was decided that the moose would steer. They all settled back into the canoe and began to paddle. There's the beaver deciding who's going to steer. The bear insisted on paddling port side, but the beaver and the moose also preferred the left. With everyone paddling on the same side, they traveled in circles. That's true. That'll happen. Soon their arms grew tired, so they began to switch sides. That's when they finally started to travel in a straight line. But just as they began to make progress, they came to a stop at a beaver dam. They all had different ideas as to how to get across. The beaver wanted to push the canoe, but that didn't work. The moose thought they should pull the canoe. That didn't work either. Fortunately, the bear figured out that the only way across was to portage. Portage is a fancy way of saying carrying the canoe, so that's what they decided to do. And there you see them carrying the canoe. Beaver very touching the ground. Back in the water, the bear, the moose, and the beaver settled into a rhythm and started to really enjoy paddling along the river. But it wasn't long before they began to argue. They argued so loudly that they didn't notice the current growing stronger or the quiet rumbling in the distance. Stop splashing, keep paddling. The beaver saying he's hungry and he's trying to eat his paddle. So there's some illustrative comedy, or some good comedy through pictures that Nicholas Olden has done. I love that. That's great. Until it was too late, the river had turned into wild, white water rapids. Ah! Beaver's a little bit scared. Thrown sideways, underwater, through the air, and everywhere, the bear, the moose, and the beaver held on for their lives. Again, a funny picture here. The moose and the beaver surfing on top of the canoe while the bear's trying to paddle upside down. Pretty funny. Exhausted, bruised, and wet, the three friends landed on a rock in the middle of the rapids. Oh, they're still in danger. The moose wanted to burn the canoe to make a signal fire. The bear wanted to throw the beaver to shore to get help. The beaver figured swimming to shore would be safer. They argued over whose plan was best well into the night. Here's the bear trying to throw the beaver across the river. Not a good idea. The next morning it dawned on the bear, the moose, and the beaver that they would have to work together to make it home safely. We can do it. I like that. So they climbed back into their battered canoe, took a deep breath, and ran the rapids. They twisted, leaped, crashed, and blasted through the water. The rapids were fierce, but with the bear's powerful strokes, the moose's steady hoof, and the beaver's clever commands, they set a true, clear course. something's happening here. At last, the bear, the moose, and the moose, and the beaver made it to shore. Oh, yay! They're safe. Canoes in 2 pieces, though. After a much-needed nap, the bear, the moose, and the beaver worked together to repair their canoe and paddles, catch some fish, and cook lunch. Before they tucked into their meal, they all gave thanks for the wildest adventure they ever had. Cool. Rested and relaxed, the bear, the moose, and the beaver were ready to set out for home. After taking a long look at the raging rapids, though, they decided to walk. And who could disagree with them? The end. Very, very important message in here about working together. The bear, the moose, and the beaver didn't really have a lot of success when they were arguing about what to do. When they started working together as a team and cooperating, that's when things went better for them. And that's what saved them in the end, is that they worked together. So, big message, or very strong message here about cooperating and working together rather than fighting and arguing, which is what the bear, the moose, and the beaver discovered. Once they started cooperating, things went better. So that's the message, or the moral, in today's Up the Creek. Well, I've got another one for you tomorrow from Nicholas Oldland. We've got 2 more, and then we'll move on to another author. But I love this author, and he's a good illustrator too. Excellent. All right, stay tuned for tomorrow.